stage, on stage with Jim and Tom. On stage, on stage with Jim and Tom. On stage, on stage with Jim and Tom. On stage with Jim and Tom. And Jim.
Whoa. Some good.
Could you play it? Could you just play it one more time?
Yeah, play it again.
Let's do that again.
On stage with Jim and Tom. 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 And Jim.
Tonight we welcome the collective known as Cash Pony to the stage of the Phoenix Theater. The following was once written of this band's music. Perhaps too punk for cats and too jazzy for punks, the din of Cash Pony is anomalous to its environment. The author continued, Cash Pony is a flurry of shred in a calm riverbed. And I think that's a good enough description for now. Please welcome to the program, Cash Pony.
Hi.
Hola.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste, motherfuckers.
We're going to look a little bit at the catalog tonight. An album was put out in 2011, I think, by this band, Carpal Tunnel Vision Quest.
Oh, yeah. Well, it started, we recorded it at the end of 2011 and released it in, I think, March of 2012.
Yeah.
That was our debut full length.
This was a theme album, a rite of passage that pits pure will against the reality of physical limitation. Its purpose is to activate you.
That's pretty good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't make that up, but you guys wrote that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's your...
My memory is.
Sounds like the record.
I do like to write in inflammatory language sometimes.
Yeah. That was inflammatory.
I think that's the thing also with our music, because most of it's instrumental. It's still imbued with some kind of meaning and understanding of concepts, realities, and whatnot, and that the sounds translate that understanding. You don't need words to imbue the feeling of an actual concept.
The listener can interpret it. It's like maybe freer in that sense. It's not someone telling you you're having fun or you feel sad or.
And I think the music, music has. You don't need words to tell you the feel. Like music can tell you the energies to feel. You know, whether it's the harmonies you use or the textures you use or the tonal.
The fat
qualities
rhythms,
that you use,
the fat polyrhythms,
the fat polyrhythms, the rhythms,
the fat polyrhythms.
the fat polyrhythms will tell you how to feel. I mean, music doesn't need words to express feeling.
It has to demand more attention.
Exactly.
And in the human voice demands the most attention out of all things. Like you can have someone just reading out of a book over us and it would be, often more people would be more attentive just because the human voice is there. There's three reasons though that I think that makes sense for us instrumentally is like one is like who really wants to hear a bunch of white boys say anything right now? We should shut our asses up. And two, I kind of feel like really who would want to sing over that stuff? Like, could you get a singer to like willfully be on top of that?
I don't think you should.
I also think that the vocalist is often the reason why I stop listening to a band live.
Is that your number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, there's going to be any number of bands that you don't like the singer or something like that.
The vocalist is usually the reason why I leave the room.
The second full length was Zero Charisma, which I believe was released in 2015.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
Yep.
Is there any theme to that album? Is there anything to say about the...
I think the title of it says it all.
I mean, that's when we have.
we're just like,
that's our
fuck
last
it.
working title.
We did kind of hit. I mean, it was definitely like we went through a lot. I mean, the band we were a 6-piece, and then we went down to just being me and Steve and bringing in Owen and Gabe. So
it's a transitional.
It was
record.
definitely a transitional record of trying to kind of rebuilding the whole thing from the ground up again.
Do you know someone named Annalise Poda?
I believe she came to a gig of ours a long time
Is
ago.
that who wrote?
She wrote something for Jam Base, I think, some
very-
review.
You have a brilliant mind.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot
I remember
there.
I had to probably field her emails, but that's kind of a weird name, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to forget.
I'm just going to read a little clip of what she wrote. She did write it for Jambase. Here we go. With each band member, I just like this because it's just like fun music journalism that's kind of silly, but like there might be some truth to it. With each band member sporting a unique beard style, they collectively seemed to sink into a meditative state that enabled them to perfectly link up the clouds of notes that darted around the stage. It seemed that they were of one hive mind as they rapidly yet precisely wove together cyclic tornadoes of scales and breaks.
That was just very disorienting review. Beautiful.
Does anybody at the table meditate?
I do.
I don't.
Do you have anything to say about your experience meditating? I feel like you have thoughts on meditating.
My emotions are pretty honed in. I'm pretty chill,
Pretty dimes.
pretty dimed. Oh, now we're getting there.
That's one of the things we're not supposed to talk about.
We're not
My
supposed to
bad.
get.
We're not supposed to talk about being dimed.
This
Yeah.
expression comes up too much.
Yeah.
Being dimed.
Could you explain to the viewer what the
shouldn't.
expression is so they don't say it?
It's like when you go to the horse races and you go to observe the horses before they race, and you bet on the horse that has taken the biggest shit. That horse is dimed.
I never heard that. I never heard it like that. Guys in the music scene say, I think when it's just you fucking nailed it, you dimed it.
Yeah, well,
and then
it's also-
we say it too much. You see.
In
you
a
could do it- I
specific
mean-
way, it's when you turn your amp all the way up. When you
Oh.
dime it. That means
That's too
take it to
loud.
10. Yeah.
That's actually very logical.
Yeah.
The horse taking the shit, I didn't really understand it, but I don't need to.
That horse is
But-
dimed.
Yeah, I think when we say it, it means like, yeah,
He's
like
ready to
really,
rock.
Like
He has
when you
been
dime
relieved.
something,
It's
It's like,
really
yeah,
a
you nail
state
it.
of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a state of perfection that is, only known amongst close brothers or sisters.
People say things
Amen.
too much. Dimed maybe is one of those things. Do you feel like they say gigs too much? Do you have an objection to the word gigs?
No.
No, not really.
Gigs are vague enough to apply.
Yeah,
I mean,
a
a
gig
gig
is like
easily-
any. Is like
it's a
any.
job
You can use
or
that in any
a
profession.
A gig, you could
show,
be
whatever.
you could be a sign spinner. You could be
That's my gig, right?
Whatever.
Some
You
people
know, it doesn't
hate-
fucking
some people
matter.
hate
Or
the
like
word,
if it's just
you
a
know?
one-off job.
That word
like-
doesn't bother me at all.
The gig is
it's
like
hardly even a slang.
I
Yeah.
get
Just-
that though. I get the offense.
Yeah.
Why is it offensive? I don't
Well,
really
you
understand
know, not
that.
offensive, but I could get it. Why it would be irritating, maybe
I'm
to say.
fascinated by the little things that irritate people, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand the gig thing. I don't care, but
Right,
I
right. It doesn't bother
understand
me.
because there's
well,
my
it
own
seems like kind
versions
of
that.
obligatory. You're
Yeah.
like, I just got this gig. It's like,
Yeah, right.
It doesn't
exactly.
amount
what
to
else
anything.
Would you call it? Yeah.
It's just like
That's
a,
like just the term.
It's a
for it.
thing.
I think
It's an
people who
obligation.
think that musicians say too much would say, well, just call it a show. Just call it a concert. And if you're spinning a sign, it's like just call it a job. Just call it a job. Don't have to dress it up as a gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, look, there's plenty of little things that I
wanna
find
do away
very
with it?
annoying.
I
but
think that's what we're coming to.
but
Are we all agreed here? The word needs to
we're
leave
not saying
language.
dimed. We're not saying
Let's just
gig.
say
No,
let's just say
dime is staying.
moisture.
Dime stays.
Moisture.
Now, moisture is a word that people have a problem with. You know what else people have a problem with?
That sound all on
Yeah.
the microphone. Yeah, I don't think I like that.
I like that.
Stop doing it.
Are there other little annoyances that anybody has at the table they'd like to share as we try to get to know the
Like
souls
pet
of these people?
peeves?
Yeah, pet peeves, little things that should not annoy you, that are not logical to be annoyed by, but you just cannot fucking stand them.
The sound of sweeping.
Really? I love that sound.
It,
I do
like,
too.
it
I think it's
goes down
relaxing.
Well, I know you do.
Oh no! Violation of our
I don't-
consensual reality.
I respect, and I sweep
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you gotta sweep.
But even when I do it, it's I don't know what it is.
You do
It's
it
always-
arrhythmically?
It's always bothered me. It's the even like it just I don't know. It's like walking in sand does it to me, like barefoot, which should be
That's
great.
kind of a weird one.
It's styrofoam for me.
Oh yeah.
Like
Just the side of it or the touch of it?
all
or
of
the
it.
noise
Everything about styrofoam is the worst, and the noise especially. But like, especially if you have like styrofoam peanuts and you just like go in and like grab them, it's like
Why are you doing that? Don't do that.
like that. No, it's that's worse than sand or sweeping or anything. Styrofoam is an abomination.
Some people
Moisturizer.
hate this.
No, I do that all the time.
No, yeah,
I
that
love
gets
cracking
me
my
a
It
little.
sounds gross to me, but
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, hearing someone
to
else do
trigger
it.
people who are out there listening.
moisturizer kind of. I mean, I value it, but it kind of grosses me out.
Oh,
Does it
'cause-
really?
Yeah.
What about your skin gets hella dry?
Well, I know, and I have to use it sometimes myself.
Yeah.
But, like immediately after I put it on, I want to wash my hands. And
well, you got to keep rubbing, man. Until
I
it's
know,
all the way in.
and then I hate when people are rubbing it in their hand, like when people put moisturizer in their hands. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I hate it too.
Ugh.
I like this a lot because I'm learning so much about my
Well, I think some
bandmates.
people put like a lot of moisturizer in.
Too much.
It's doing that.
We call it slime.
Like all you need is a drop.
Well, maybe you need a little bit.
There's a couple things there. You don't like moisturizer generally, it sounds like, and then you have another annoyance when people use way too much of it.
Yeah.
That sounds like maybe
I just
two.
feel like I hate suntan.
You're already
lotion.
being a sucker by buying it in the
suntan
first
lotion.
place.
I mean, I hate
Not
suntan lotion too. I mean,
Sounds like you have
I
an
have to
opinion
use
on,
it all the time.
I'm just
but,
anti-buying crap.
Yeah, but you don't think that some people need moisturizer?
No, I definitely
I think
need
you
moisturizer.
create your own.
Oh, you can just make your own, you mean?
It's a very,
Well, it's kind of like
Try drinking water.
It's kind of like chapstick, right? The more you use it, the more you need it.
The more you drink water, the less you need moisturizer.
You have a 2018 album coming out.
Yeah.
And this is full length. This is like the rebirth of this band is official with this. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any possible ideas of what it would be called?
Dimes. We were thinking about dimes.
Dime is good.
Dimed as fuck.
Moisturizer. You know, I mean, you could pick any little moment
Moisturizer
from this
nightmare.
interview. Yeah.
Once we think of a name, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Well, one of
okay.
the songs we played tonight was Crumbs in the Deathbed. And I think that's a cool title, but I don't know if we're going to name the album that.
What do you love about that title?
It's just the nuance of being uncomfortable, even if you're dead. You know, I don't know.
Dying, I guess.
Just the whole concept of like, does it matter?
Yeah,
You
no, I
know?
think it actually to me, it evokes like casual death. Dude, man, I'm going to like eat some snacks and I'm going to have crackers and die.
Yeah.
Casual Death.
Casual Death.
That's a nice title for an album. Maybe not for this band, but for another band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Casual
More
Death.
distortion.
Yeah. Don't you love it when people tell you what you should name your album?
I know, it's sort of like
your
what you
songs?
should name your kid or something
Yeah.
when you're about to have one.
Or if you
Oh,
should have
yeah,
a singer
name your
or
daughter
not.
Debbie.
Yeah, Gabe's a great name for your kid.
Gabe's a great name for your kid.
Yeah.
This is my daughter, Casual Death.
Well, thank you, Cash Pony, for joining us tonight. This is a band that
Thank
I
you.
cannot believe has never played this stage before.
Yeah, I can't either.
So it's long overdue, and it's been really good to hang out with you guys here. So we
Super fun.
appreciate that.
Yeah, likewise.
And now we've just we've learned so much about the people who make this music. So much about these people.
Are they people?
Are they? The answer is yes. The humanity was on full display here
Mere
tonight.
mortals.
And if you've hung around through all that, then guess what? The reason we're all here is happening in just a moment
you
because a flurry of shred
Flurry of shred.
and a calm riverbed
McFlurry of shred.
A McFlurry of shred.
is about to play out over, well, my God, the speakers that you're listening to this through. The music of Cash Pony is up next. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Word up.
Wait, do we get to hear the theme one more time?
Sure.
On stage, Sean signature time. On stage, Sean signature time. On stage, Sean signature time. On stage, Sean signature time.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.